Hello and welcome. I'm Eva Gregory. In this video, I'm going to explain the 4 inner guidance superpowers based on the quiz you took and talk to you about your powerful inner GPS, one we all have, and that was responsible for me creating an additional $200,000 of revenue in my business from one session. You'll also learn the 3 biggest reasons people struggle to access their guidance so that you're no longer one of them. I've spent over 10 years teaching thousands of coaches, healers, holistic practitioners, those I call spiritual entrepreneurs, how to access their own inner guidance and how to use their guidance along with proven practical strategies for growing a successful, enlightened business. If you watched the last video, thank you. If you left a comment or a question, thank you so much for that. It makes my heart sing to see folks making comments and asking questions. I love being able to support you as you go through this video training. If you missed the last video by any chance, you need to stop right here, go back, watch the first video before going any further here. You'll see access to that right above. It is full of high-value content you'll be able to use right away, and it'll make everything you see in this video make a lot more sense and be more valuable. In video 1, I revealed the critical missing piece in your business. That is what's threatening your success and your desire to make a difference in the lives of others while making a lucrative living doing what you love. I shared the 2 key elements that together are responsible for over 90% of your success. In fact, if you get this, your business will soar, and if you don't, it won't. And I also shared with you my dream of transforming the lives of 1 million individuals. And that means having coaches, healers, holistic practitioners, spiritual entrepreneurs like you, learning how to access, trust, and act on your inner guidance in order to end overwhelm, tune in to your divine wisdom, and attract a steady stream of ideal clients so that together we can make that dream a reality. And what I know is if you've got a burning desire for making a big impact, doing what you love, and a business that is in full integrity with who you are, you can do it. That burning desire is your inner guidance at a very, very core level. Hopefully you've taken the quiz, Discover Your Inner Guidance Superpower. It's so important to know what your inner guidance superpower is so that you know the easiest and the most natural way to access your guidance. What I want is for you to be able to get feedback from your guidance and get the results fast through your path of least resistance. So I want to briefly walk you through each of the superpowers to accessing your inner guidance. The 4 superpowers are Transcendental Love, Divine Knowing, Creating Heaven on Earth, and Spiritual Transcendence. If you scored highest for Transcendental Love, it means you experience your guidance through your feelings and your emotions. You feel your desires intensely. On the flip side, that also means you can feel the emotions of others strongly as well. So for you, it's important to learn how to discern your guidance by connecting with the essence of what you're feeling. If you scored high for Divine Knowing, you experience your guidance primarily through thought and ideas. For you, having a regular meditation practice in order to quiet your mind is really key to your being able to discern inner guidance from the thousands of thoughts that constantly flood your mind. If you scored high for Creating Heaven on Earth, it means your inner guidance is experienced primarily through the tangible world and physical sensation. You say you have a gut reaction to something, or you experience chill bumps, as an example. For you, it's important to start paying attention to those physical sensations as communication rather than brushing them off. If you scored high for Spiritual Transcendence, you most easily access your inner guidance primarily through images and visuals. For you, by practicing present moment awareness on a regular, consistent basis, you'll be able to access your inner guidance more quickly and easily. Most of us have a blend of all 4 superpowers. I happen to have Transcendental Love as my greatest superpower, followed by Spiritual Transcendence. So let's look at how this plays out in business. It's not uncommon when you start out in business to try anything and everything in order to grow your business and find clients. After all, you've got to do something to get your business off the ground, right? But the problem is you're unfocused and you're unclear. You're going in multiple directions at once. You're all over the map, and that results in overwhelm and burnout, and then you continue to struggle. You've been giving your power away as you look outside yourself to the next new thing that surely must be the answer to your success. This is where your inner guidance superpower comes into play. It's much like the GPS in your car when you need to find your way. A GPS system is just a feedback device, and it tells you where you are at any given time relative to your desired destination. To get it working, all you have to do is enter a destination and then start moving. And if you get off course, it recalibrates and it'll reroute you to get you back on track. So what if you had a GPS system that would do the same thing for you in your business and life? Well, you have one. You were born with it. I'm going to talk about a different kind of GPS, and I call this particular GPS system your inner GPS, guidance powered by spirit. This inner GPS is extremely powerful for guiding you to the success you want to create in your business based on your desires, your spirit, and your values. Your inner guidance comes before and beyond the material world or physical reality. It comes from outside our perception of time and space. It's a real-time guidance system. It's beyond your conscious awareness or thoughts, and it's guiding you every second of every day, whether you realize it or not. It's unrelated to your background, your culture, your education, your age, your intellect, or your experience. And we all have access to universal wisdom, and no one has more than anyone else. Whoever you think of as the most enlightened people, none of them have more access to universal wisdom than you do. Not Albert Einstein, not Stephen Hawking, not Gandhi, not Buddha. It is a skill set, though, and it can be learned. You have to learn how to quiet your mind and get your own thoughts out of the way in order to be open to that inner guidance. And when you're in that state, you are literally the channel through which your inner guidance flows. You'll feel certainty and clarity without second-guessing yourself. And when you finally stop racking your brain on how to solve an issue in your business, and then you let it go, and magically the answer appears, that's your guidance showing up. That's your guidance when you finally let go of trying so hard. When you're taking a shower, or you're driving, or you're out for a walk, and you get this streak of insight about what to do about something, that's your inner guidance. By the way, it's not uncommon for inner guidance to show up when you're doing something else, especially if you're in that relaxed state or you're just letting your mind wander. Sometimes it shows up in the middle of the night when you wake up unexpectedly, which is what happened to me. Let me tell you about a wake-up call I had one night. Years ago now, my mate Robin and I ran a software company, and it was leaking money like a sieve. For more than 5 years, we were in action, doing all the supposedly right things, searching for backing to help us launch a fantastic software program we had patented to no avail. We were laying off staff. We weren't paying ourselves. Morale was non-existent. Creditors were after us personally. They were after us in the business. Our stress levels were through the roof. And this was after I'd learned about the law of attraction. So sure, it's easy to use it on the little stuff, but when it came to the big, important stuff, like growing my business, I threw law of attraction out the window and I reverted back to my old mode of operation. Can you relate to that? I used to wake up in the middle of the night having panic attacks about my business and my life. My focus was on not enough money, not meeting payroll, can't pay our bills, fear of being evicted. And then one night, about 3 a.m, when I woke up, it was different this time. And I was able to hear my inner guidance. And I was told, although I knew about law of attraction, I wasn't living it. Of course not. Where was my focus all this time? It's on exactly what I didn't want more of. And that focus, those thoughts, were the engine, and that highly charged negative emotion I was carrying around was the fuel that was magnetizing even more of what I didn't want into my experience. I kept dipping into the lack, the scarcity, not enough. And I was tolerating a ton of pain and suffering in the process, all before I finally listened and trusted my guidance. And I was told to stop all the action that we were taking and focus on shifting the energy in the company, starting with me. So this time I listened and I trusted. And I took a process into the company which we called it our prosperity account. And overall, the company energy shifted. And within 9 months of practicing this process, we were approached to sell the company, lock, stock, and barrel, and literally went from living from no paycheck to no paycheck, basically, because Robin and I weren't always collecting one for ourselves, to successfully selling that business for a hefty, hefty sum of money. And when that company legally changed hands, we were in the Grenadine Islands on a 42-foot catamaran, island hopping with friends. That is the power of inner guidance. And I have so many client stories that show it works for far more than just me. You may not be able to access your own guidance as easily as you'd like to right now or on demand, but over time and with the right practice to refine your ability to connect, you'll get there. Of course, you'll still experience ups and downs in your life. That's part of the human experience. We all have experiences of suffering, losses, or some kind of hardship. So if anyone ever tells you once you learn how to access your guidance, your life will be nirvana forevermore, I say, run, Bambi, run. It is not true. But you will live a better quality of life. You will be able to run your business in alignment with your spirit and your values. You will be able to get more clarity on business decisions, and you will be able to find solutions more easily. You'll get inspiration about what programs, products, and services to offer in your business. You'll look for your answers within instead of looking for the answers outside yourself. You'll receive shifts in perspective. You'll have a greater self-confidence and peace of mind, even in the midst of chaos, knowing you have everything you need to get through to the other side of any issue, any challenge, or obstacle that you might run up against in your business in a much easier way than you would have otherwise. And you will be extremely attractive to your ideal clients. You'll have less self-doubt as you begin to realize you really are your own best authority when it comes to you and your life. It's incredibly empowering when you learn to trust what you feel is best for you versus what others feel is best for you. Your inner guidance is always leading you to what's in your best interest, not anybody else's. Now, it doesn't mean you won't look to others for advice or counsel. I still do. In fact, investing in mentors and coaches for my business has been instrumental in my own success, and I've saved tens of thousands of dollars because I know who is a perfect fit for me and who isn't. Life is just a lot easier when you have access to inner guidance. A powerful inner GPS process I live by and I teach in my Inner Guidance for Business Success program is called the Point of Focus Inner Guidance Technique. This is especially effective for busy entrepreneurs who need clarity around a topic fast. This one technique can and will transform your business. In fact, it was responsible for me bringing in over $200,000 from one afternoon session. One morning, my other half, Robin, left for work about 8 a.m. He was back home at 10 a.m. What the heck? Well, it turns out the company he had a 3-year contract with decided to drop the project that he was involved in without any notice. I'm like, OMG. I had been telling him for a while I didn't care if he ever worked again because I knew how unhappy he was. Well, be careful what you ask for. This wasn't exactly the way I had pictured it unfolding. And now I had to figure out a way to bring in enough income to match what he'd been bringing in along with what I was already making. And after a few minutes of panic, I did panic, but then I got quiet and I asked for clarity on my next steps from my inner guidance using the point of focus technique, which you can actually download from the link below this video. In this one session, I got the idea for launching a year-long group program. Now, I'd been getting guidance to start a group program for a while, but I wasn't listening. Well, I was listening now. So I sat down, I laid out the entire year's program in one sitting, and my Leading Edge Living Success program was born. I sent out a low-key email to my list about the program, and I began launching a new group program every month for a while, and then every other month or so until I had several of these group programs running, and created the income we needed in order to continue living in the style we had become accustomed. The programs filled so easily, and that got to a point where I had to launch 2 more just to accommodate the number of folks who wanted to join. Accessing, trusting, and then acting on my guidance created $207,000 in additional revenue in my business over the next year from that one program alone. Not to mention the 6-figure income I received from this program alone over the following 6 years I ran it. I found there are 3 major reasons folks struggle to access their inner guidance. 1, you're in your head. You're leading your life from your head space and not your heart space. You're so busy trying to solve your problems by doing. And you could be doing all the wrong things, or you could be doing all the right things by most standards. But if you're struggling, you are not coming from your heart space. This is where your inner guidance resides. It's exactly what happened to me when I woke up at 3 a.m. with the download to go into our software company the next day and teach everyone about law of attraction and to start shifting our energy. After years of struggling in that business, within 9 months, that one insight led to our selling the company for a hefty sum of money. Number 2, you may actually be asking for help, but you're fixated on your solution having to look a certain way. Some of you may have heard the story of the big flood. As the flood waters were rising, a man was on the stoop of his house, and another man in a truck drove by, and the man in the truck said to the man on the stoop, "Get in, I'll save you." The man on the stoop said, "No, I've got faith in God. I'll wait for God to save me." And the flood waters kept rising, and the man had to go to the 2nd floor of his house. And a man in a motorboat came by and told the man in the house, "Get in, I've come to rescue you." And the man in the house said, "No, thank you. I have perfect faith in God, so I'll wait for God to save me." And the flood waters kept rising. And pretty soon, they're up to the man's roof. So he climbs out on the roof. A helicopter then comes by, lowers a rope, and the pilot shouted down to the man on the roof, "Climb up the rope. We're here to rescue you." And the man on the roof wouldn't get in. He told the pilot he had faith in God, and he'd wait for God to rescue him. Flood waters kept rising, and the man on the roof drowned. And when he got to heaven, he asked God, "Where did I go wrong? I had perfect faith in you, and you let me drown." And God said, "I sent you a truck, I sent you a boat, I sent you a helicopter. What more do you want from me?" Where are you struggling in your own life? Maybe being shown the way. Maybe you're being given answers, but you're so fixated on your solution or your answers looking a certain way, you can't even see or hear them when they're being presented to you. And number 3, you're listening, but you're not trusting. You're ignoring the answers already within you. We've all had those gut feelings when making big decisions in our businesses, but because there's no way to qualify what you're feeling, you dismiss it. Some time ago, I was talking with one of my clients, we'll call her Rhonda, who told me after years of hard work and dedication, she finally grew her company to 7 figures. She was elated, she had done it. And now she was ready to bring a partner into the business to take it to the next level. Being the meticulous, detail-oriented person that she is, Rhonda painstakingly did her due diligence. She hired an attorney. She had letters of intent drawn up to protect everyone's rights and responsibilities. She spent countless nights online on her laptop with endless pots of steaming hot coffee nearby as she did her background research. And she did it slowly, and she did it methodically. From the outside looking in, you'd say she'd done all the right things. Finally, the day came. Rhonda took on her new business partner. And yet, throughout that entire process, something felt off to her. She couldn't put her finger on it, and so she chalked it off to her imagination, and then she just plowed ahead. After all, she'd done everything by the book. She and her attorney checked and double-checked everything at each step of the process. So what the heck was nagging her? Of course, she'd been so used to running her business by herself for so long. That must be what the unfamiliar feeling was. Well, turns out that wasn't what it was at all. It was her inner guidance letting her know something wasn't right. But she wasn't listening. And she didn't stop and take the time to find out what was really going on inside. And when she got ready to sell her business, she was devastated to discover the business she'd poured her heart and soul into developing into a 7-figure business was now absolutely worthless due to some underhanded actions of her business partner. After we started working together, she told me she could see what the outcome would have been had she just stopped and employed the principles I teach in my Inner Guidance for Business Success program for just 10 minutes. 10 minutes could have meant a 7-figure success story instead of a 7-figure mistake. And as painful as that was, she took the time to really learn how to access her guidance, more importantly, to trust her guidance. And as a result, she has another highly successful business today. Your inner guidance is as important for making decisions in your business as running the numbers and analyzing data. You need both. And if you're like me or my client Rhonda, you were probably taught that to make important decisions, you need to analyze the issue, list all the possible options, and then compare those against each other to come up with the best decision. Unfortunately, as methodical and systematic as this sounds, it doesn't work. When Rhonda followed this model of decision-making to bring on a business partner, it cost her her business. Hence, the importance of learning how to access, trust, and act on the inner guidance you're being given. We've covered a lot of material today. In this video, you've learned the 4 inner guidance superpowers, the power of using your inner GPS, guidance powered by spirit, and you learned the 3 biggest reasons folks struggle to access their inner guidance. In the next video, I'm going to be sharing with you the 4 steps to inner guidance mastery. This is the same system I teach in my Inner Guidance for Business Success program, so you'll know exactly how to connect with your guidance, trust, and act on the guidance you're given so that you're open to receive what you're asking for. Inner guidance mastery gives you confidence in your business decisions because you're making good decisions. You'll know the right opportunities to say yes to, what to say no to. So now you're only engaged in opportunities and activities that allow you to attract more clients, make more money, and make an even bigger impact in the world. I hope you're getting great value, and I hope you're beginning to understand the importance of learning how to access, trust, and act on your own inner guidance. If you haven't taken the quiz to discover your inner guidance superpower, the link to the quiz is just below the video. It's only going to be available for a short period of time, so do that now. And be sure to download the Point of Focus Inner Guidance technique to start using right away. I don't want you to miss out on a thing. And if you got some value from our time together, it would be awesome if you'd hit the like button. It's so inspiring for me to feel your energy and presence. And I'd greatly appreciate it if you could leave me your feedback in the comment section below. And be sure to let us know what your natural inner guidance superpower is. What'd you score highest on? I'll be checking back here to read your comments and questions during the day, and I'll do my best to respond to each one of you personally. And I'll see you in a couple of days in the next video. Big heart hugs.